Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wonder Woman Says. Man, if you've been paying attention, it's really been changing outside in terms of the weather. It's been getting really cold, but hey, it
But
hasn't stopped me at all.
and it's finally raining. Wash some of the bird shit off my car.
Yeah, that's good too. Um, well, we ain't gonna beat around the bush too much tonight. There's been a new Moon Knight that came out not too long ago from Marvel. I must say, I'm starting to really like this character. I don't know why I avoided him for so long. But yeah, I wish I would have known about him sooner, because that Moon Knight #1 from, I think it was from 1980. I can't find that book for under maybe $300 now. Anyway, let's get into this one. We see Moon Knight and a couple of his affiliates walking through Chinatown on the way to see somebody about something. Thank you. I'm glad Marvel started bringing this back for real. They're like telling the synopsis of what's been going on so far in the series.
A tradition that we honor by bringing up how proud we are that they brought it back every time it comes up.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Moon Knight's after this vampire organization. This organization actually turned one of his friends to him.
Is it Herbalife?
I don't know about that. They arrive at the place they're going in, talking to these women. I think they're vampires actually. They're just on the opposite side of the people Moon Knight is after. Because he's there to see the leader of that group. And there she is. Moon Knight's kind of trying to make a deal with her. Because she knows who he's trying to hunt. She knows where he is. Of course, she don't want to help him out either.
Just like a woman.
Moon Knight starts getting more obvious about how he came to her with some information. Things start to escalate when he calls her a coward. She takes it upon herself to grab him. While that's going on, we see a different scene. The actual people that Moon Knight's after, they're actually fighting with somebody. They're about to kill him too.
Typical Herbalife.
Yeah. But then we see the woman take on her vampire form because she doesn't like how Moon Knight came into her place and called her a coward. But his friend that turned to a vampire takes out a gun and starts to threaten her.
Baby, you got real ugly.
But then he starts saying something about how she's afraid to give Moon Knight the information. That's when she suddenly calms down, lets Moon Knight go. He starts to acknowledge that his friend is actually kind of correct. Well, I'm going to stop it here because I don't want to spoil the rest of it.
Short issue, I like that.
Yeah.
Because this camera gets very heavy.
Yeah.
I have to hold it with the one hand in German engineering.
Yeah. Well, as I said at the top of that review, I'm really starting to like Moon Knight a lot now. He's kind of like Marvel's version of Batman in many ways, except he's been brought back from the dead via some magic.
So, like Batman.
Well, Batman was never brought back from the dead.
Yes, he was. I mean, technically, he was sent back in time, but he was continuously reincarnated as versions of himself.
Yeah, but he was never brought back from the dead in the original story.
See, you just always have to be right, don't you?
But yeah, I really like the artwork. This cover is really cool right here. I wish he had this costume on in the book, but unfortunately he doesn't. He's wearing a suit for some reason over top of his usual mask. But anyway, I have to give this issue a 9. I really liked it. Moon Knight's fast becoming one of my favorite Marvel characters too.
I gotta say that every time I hear his name, I think of Moonlight Knight from Sailor Moon, which was a weird second identity that Tuxedo Mask had for a while.
I don't really know much about Sailor Moon. I never got into anime, so.
Well, that's because you're a godless heathen.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, definitely a good issue. Worth picking up if you're in the Moon Knight like I am.
Alrighty, so what do we got next?
Well, you're taking a trip back to 1990. We're going to look at the Huntress number 13. I must say, they really got some stereotypical looking villains from the time period too in this issue.
Wait, let me guess. His last name is just an initial.
I don't think they really give him a name at all, to be honest.
Looks like his name is Izzy D or something.
Yeah, he look like he'd be like one of the gangster rappers from that time period. But yeah, we see a woman walking alone at night in New York. Or in Gotham, I should say, actually.
Well, same difference.
Yeah. Suddenly she's taken hostage, so to speak, by this man, this mysterious man. Starts to threaten her life.
I mean, I don't think that's so to speak. She's literally just been taken hostage.
Yeah.
Or kidnapped, if you will.
But then the man tries to come to her aid, but all the while they start pulling her. And she just comes apart.
You know, that's something I would have suggested as a joke, and they just went for it. Good for them.
Turns out that was a nightmare that Helena was having. Then she hears some screams coming up from the roof, so she decides to get back in a Huntress costume.
I gotta say, a lot of the sexier Huntress costumes I actually think look kind of stupid, but that one looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is Huntress's best look by far.
And don't get me wrong, I'm very pro sexy costumes. They just never cracked the formula for her.
So then we see a woman being hassled by pretty much the people that sexually assaulted her. They go ahead pretty much throw her off the roof. But the Huntress catches her in time. She takes her back up to the roof and she goes after the men that pretty much tried to kill her.
I see they're doing that every other page is kind of monochrome sort of thing that they did for a while back then. I am so glad that trend died out.
So then, as the Huntress goes to go after the men, the girl actually tells her, she pretty much asks her to leave her alone. The Huntress try to tell her that she need to go catch the guys, but then she's saying like she don't really need her help. The Huntress simply ain't hearing it. The Huntress takes her to I guess you could say some type of clinic or some type of.
It looks like a women's shelter.
Yeah. Although the woman's reluctant to give any information about what happened, she don't really want to, but she's scared out of her mind. But then, I guess the resident counselor notices the Huntress, see how she's dressed. And she wondering what's the deal with it all. And then the counselor and the Huntress start having a conversation. Huntress start thinking about some of the nightmares she been having. And the counselor gives her a card to pretty much tell her, she needs somebody to talk to. She right there.
I gotta say, if it wasn't for the fact that all the social services are still up and running, this would be very much like an issue of Blood Syndicate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. And then later that night, Helena has yet another nightmare and she gets thrown off the roof. And then she decides to get back up. she actually decides to take the counselor up on her offer. Although she goes as Selena, not as the Huntress.
I can't help but notice that when she's out of costume, she's got like an old spinster look going on.
Yeah, she do look a lot different when she not wearing that costume of hers.
I mean, it's a choice.
Yeah. So then her and the counselor start talking about like how she been having these nightmares and how she starts to like expect her to be diagnosed with some type of schizo. Counselor reassures her she's not gonna do that just because she has some bad dreams. Then she has to pretty much cut the session short because she gotta go see somebody else, but turns out that somebody else is the woman she actually rescued the night before. She's saying that the woman's finally starting to come around and giving them some information about the guys that did that to her, the attack that she suffered.
Mm-hmm.
She decides to go back out as the Huntress to go look for them. So we see the villains right here. They're like shooting pool somewhere, like some type of hideout of theirs.
Yeah, like that guy even kind of looks like a thinner, younger version of Y's son.
Yeah. But it don't last long because the Huntress crashes the party.
As she is wont to do.
She makes quick work of the rapists because they pretty much what they are.
Captain America's shield was on the wall for some reason.
Actually, it was like I mean, it does look like it a little bit. It's like kind of the bullseye thing for the
Dartboard?
Yeah, for the dartboard, yeah. Huntress confronts one of them, tells him that she gonna leave him there for the police to come arrest them all. Then she says like, if by some chance they get off in court, you know that they better watch out for her, saying that the night belongs to her, not them. They end the story with that. I like this shot right here too at the end. That's the end of this story. And this story is pretty heavy, pretty mature too. And it pretty much like talking about like sexual assault and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty obvious too, so it's suggested for mature readers.
In short, the people who wouldn't benefit from knowing all this stuff in advance.
Yeah. I probably have to give this one a 4.5. This is pretty well thought out story. I would say the Huntress doesn't really get a lot of great solo stories from what I've read so far this series.
I'm not a fan of the art myself.
Well, it is, straight up late 80s, early 90s art. So, yeah, it's like one of those take it or leave it deals. Tell us definitely from a different time, that's for sure. It ain't like this right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is pretty good stuff and pretty kind of somewhat ahead of its time too in some ways.
Alrighty. So, what do we got coming on the next episode?
On next episode, we got the first issue of the latest Deadpool series that Marvel put out. And then we got, as a blast from the past, #1 of the 1999 short-lived Blade series. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say thank you for that 3,962, I think, views that we sitting at right now. I think we're going to hit 4,000 this week. Of course, we couldn't do it without you.
Woo!
Pretty much, continue to hit like and subscribe and, continue to support us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate it more than you'll ever know, too.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease.